I spent all day yesterday setting this up because I was like, look, I haven't done any video games content for a while. You know, obviously, occasionally there's certain games that, you know, historically I've talked about. Fallout's one, Last of Us is another. You know, I even reviewed the TV show. Last of Us, terrible. And you know, there's certain games that are tied to the history of this channel and the history of my content. And funnily enough, Kingdom Come Deliverance is one of them. You will see videos in my channel with about 1,000 views back when I first started streaming games. And Kingdom Come Deliverance was one of the ones that I played. And, you know, we had a video called The Racists of Ratai, which was, you know, every time you went to talk to someone in Ratai or whatever the fuck the name of that town was, someone would say, "Oh, these bloody immigrants." And you'd be like, "What? I just asked you for directions. What the fuck's going on here?" And of course, because it was the internet, the comments on that video are, "They're not racist, they just don't like immigrants." All right, for fuck's sake. We're doing this in a fictitious medieval setting even. And it turns out, yes, we are. That is a broader point. This fictitious medieval setting that is meant to be historically accurate has found itself in the culture wars, which are dumb, not once, but twice. And the first time around, just for a little bit of history, to set up the video, or the stream, because I do these live, which is why it's got like sponsors and bars and people coming up here and subbing and stuff in the YouTube video. I'm not one of those essayists. I can't be asked. It's too much effort. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. You make fuck all money on YouTube anyway, unless you're a big YouTuber. Waste of time. Anyway, the first time that Kingdom Come Deliverance was in the culture war was because the journalists back then, the games journalists, said there's not a lot of black people in medieval Czechoslovakia, and so why haven't you put some in? And the guy that made the game, Kingdom Come Deliverance, went, well, we're trying to be historically accurate, and there just wasn't a lot of black people in this particular part of the world at that particular time. And the journalist went, okay, yeah, sure, but we interviewed a historian, and the historian said, like, some merchants might have passed through. So why haven't you put them in? And the Vavra, his name is, he said, look, we just don't think there would be a concentration of black people in this particular part of the world at that particular time. And this is the story we want to tell. And obviously we're not racist and we want to be inclusive, but also we want to be true to our vision. Now, I made a video about that, highlighting the journalists, because what journalists were doing at that time was and this was the, you know, the runoff of the fucking culture war nonsense. What journalists were doing at that time was ultimately, you know, the cancellation shit was like through the fucking roof. It was disproportionately insane. I don't want to sound like a chud, right? But ultimately, you know, like there was that fucking NASA guy who wore a shirt that had like some girls with some big boobs on it, and he's like, right, you're fired. And there was that fucking lecturer that made a joke, wasn't there? He made a joke saying like, oh, I'm an old sexist dinosaur probably, so you women in STEM have to replace me, and they ruined his life, and you know, on and on and on and on and on it went. And they were trying to do that again. This is basically what journalists preoccupied their time with at this moment in time. It doesn't work now, and by the way, it's going to get to stupid places. Ye's been tweeting. Fucking God help us. But anyway, that's what they were doing, and they were trying to do that in this particular instance, to turn this video game into more culture war fodder and to imply racism and bigotry where there simply wasn't any. And look, I'ma just say this, right? I can understand when an artist wants to create a singular vision. I don't think you have to be under any obligation when you're an artist and you're creating something to make it for anyone other than yourself. That's what I genuinely believe. That might be out of sync with the times, but I don't think you have to satisfy any other sensibility except the piece of art you wanted to craft. And I do view video games as art. And so, therefore, by extension, you shouldn't be looking to hit quotas. And then if you add the additional part of it where it's like, look, we want it to be historically accurate as possible, then obviously you've got yourself a pretty good rationale for why you wouldn't necessarily be inclusive. Now, that being said, I also understand the argument that inclusivity matters because some people like to see themselves in video games, and if you're a black person that might want to play this particular game and you are playing a white protagonist in a white world where everyone's white and everyone you interact with is white, that might not feel too cool for you. Now, again, the first version of me says, well, maybe it's just not the game for you. Plenty of other games, right? But obviously, the other argument is, well, you could make it a bit more inclusive or whatever, and then you end up with the Battlefield thing where it's like, hey, we're a historically accurate World War shooter. But look, we've got a woman with a prosthetic cybernetic leg fighting in World War One. Or you get that thing with like Total War Rome. Hey, look, we've got all these super cool female generals. It's like, well, ultimately, where I fall now, and this will shock a lot of you, I just couldn't give a shit. I just think there's just so many better things to argue about. But I do understand why some people get their nose bent out of shape. But what we're going to get to now is, back then, I think some of the chuds might have had a point. Now, not so much. Why do I say that? Because in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which I was telling my friend today I was going to record this video. He'd gone to a Frank Black concert down in London. And he said I should call the segment Ringdom Come Deliverance is what he went with. So, we'll see if that gets past the YouTube censors. But anyway, what has ended up happening now is they've made a sequel. And in the sequel, you play the same dude and you're hanging out with the same friends. But if you do this particular quest line, you can kiss your homie. Now, you have to say a bunch of gay things and do a bunch of gay things and say, I am gay, and then kiss your homie. And it takes like 100 hours just to kiss your homie. But that has driven the chuds insane. I mean, insane. Because what they missed was, and this always happens, call it horseshoe theory, pendulum theory, I call it everyone's a dickhead theory, right? What ends up happening is, the thing you rail against, you will always become that. You can just succinctly, Richard Lewis's law, you always become the things you hate the most. There it is. Take that to the bank. I can walk off camera now, and that'll be the most profound thing I ever say or contribute to mankind. It's just truth, right? And so they spent years in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. We're railing at triggered, are you? Triggered, are you? Did you get triggered? Do you get triggered? Cancel culture. Do you get triggered? Do you get triggered? Are you triggered? Are you triggered? Are you triggered? Right? They were doing that, and now they're triggered, and unbelievably triggered at an optional gay romance in a medieval video game. And they're triggered, beyond triggered. And they can't see the irony. And this happens more and more. It happens all the time. Oh, won't somebody think of the honor of Christianity? I think you're going to be okay, Christianity. I think you're going to be all right. Deviants in the Catholic Church? What are they saying here? I don't know. Maybe them priests shouldn't have fucked all them kids. What about that? So, trying to hold up the Christian church is like this bedrock that's never done anything bad. That's also absurd. So they're getting triggered over insults to Christianity, triggered over the spectre of globo-homo, corrupting. Degeneracy is a word that's being... It's like, guys, you're the SJWs now. I hate to break it to you. You're the SJWs now. And by the way, this game has double triggered them. Do you want to know why it's double triggered them? Because, as was suggested by the journos the first time around, there's no more black character in it. A black character from Mali. A merchant from Mali. And the merchant from Mali is a practicing Muslim. And, you know, he's there and he's like, oh, my friend, my religion is fantastic. We treat our women excellent. And perhaps you could learn more about the enlightening ways of medieval Islam. Now, obviously, canonically, in character, of course he'd say that. He's not going to look at the camera and go, well, there are some fundamental problems with my belief system, particularly in your time. Anyway, back to the game. Because he's not going to fucking do that. But it's triggered him. It's triggered him. They're saying they're trying to recruit. They're recruiting. They're saying Islam's a good belief system while taking a canonically Christian character and making him gay. It's like, guys, do you hear yourself? Just dye your hair blue already and let's just fucking, let's get to your final form. Anyway, just to show you how deeply stupid this is, I'm going to play some videos. And it's a toughie. In fact, here's what I want to play you first, right? And I'm not making any endorsements of any of the content that I play. I obviously, there's one video I'm going to play where absolutely do not support this individual or their message, right? But I don't know anything about some of these content creators. So, like, if it turns out they're bad for, like, some reason, just tell yourself I didn't know that. And if you need me to know that, then tell yourself that I also condemn it, whatever it was. Yeah? We can all agree. But anyway, so I want to start by playing you this, right? This is a guy called, he's got a YouTube channel, 300,000 followers beyond. It's called Worth a Buy, right? And he sounds like you want to say he's on that cusp of, like, maybe he's a Yorkshireman. So I would say North Yorkshire based on the accent, more north than, you know, who knows? But anyway, it could even be like maybe he's gone beyond North Yorkshire and he's in that Middlesbrough kind of area, maybe. You know, but anyway, he's called Worth a Buy, and he did his review, right? Because what he does is, and there you go. He's a Mackham, is he? All right, sorry, a little bit further. But anyway, you know, it's a melange of accents around there. It's all very subtle. Anyway, what the premise of his channel is genius. He gets games, he plays the games. He masters the game. He is the game's master in many ways. And then he tells you whether or not it's worth a buy. Right? And so, for Kingdom Come Degenerants, he talks about the woke stuff right at the start. And because it's become this, like, monolithic matter about this game. Now, by the way, again, I can't stress it enough. I don't care that I have the option to be gay with Henry. Oh, that sounds bad, actually, having two friends called Henry. to be gay with Hans as Henry. I don't care about that. I just can't care. You just don't have to be gay. It's kind of like, you know, real life in a way, isn't it? You're just in a room with a guy and you go, shall I chat this guy up? Oh, no, I'm not going to do that, actually. Because I'm not gay. There you go. That's all you have to do. That's the secret, isn't it? That's, you know. Or if you are gay, well, fucking roll the dice on this one. It's simple as that. It's just, you know, it's a great simulation in that sense. But anyway, here we go.
No problem at all. The game's very well optimized. Even on older cards, you'll still be able to play this. Like I say, 2080 RTX, which is probably just below a medium kind of.
I wasn't saying gays being a choice. What I mean is, if you're in a room and you're not gay, you just don't chat up men, and then you maintain your streak of being not gay. That's the bit. But
level card, no problem at all. You can definitely play this game with that kind of hardware. First up, guys, let's quickly address the woke. I don't want to give it more than like a minute or so because there's nothing. It's just bollocks. Essentially, Henry in an RPG makes decisions. Shock horror, okay? I'm 57 hours into the game and I have never seen any gay sex in this game. Well, I haven't even seen any gay anything in this game. Like, not even a kiss. Nothing. I've had one guy in 57 fucking hours who I chatted to at a buffet thing and he says, do you fancy going for a drink? And I says, no, I'd prefer drink.
I said, fucking nah, like, I'm straight as fuck me, like. I love it. That makes me miss living in the Northeast, actually.
And with ladies, and he says, okay, that's right. Now, there's a meltdown over stuff like that. It happened once, and I know from the devs it happens one more time, much later on in the game, where you can say nice things to a certain person in the game, or choose not to say nice things to that certain person in the game. If you say all the right nice things, you'll get to see a kiss. That's it. And people are crying. I've had my channel attacked because I said it's a nothing burger. I've had videos made about me slagging me off because of that in an RPG. My goodness, guys, talk about snowflakes. But that's it. And I've been around the huge city, and I didn't see a single black person in it. It was all white people. There's the footage. Me riding around. Ooh, look at, it's not diverse at all. And everybody's saying, Jesus Christ be praised. Everywhere I go, Jesus Christ be praised. So that's it. Now, there might be some more diverse places later on. I don't know. But 57 hours in, guys, nothing. So, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
So there you go, right? Like, that's a hands-on review. He's played 57 hours and hasn't seen gay sex yet. Which, you know, fucking hell, how deep into the game do you have to go? I was tempted to just buy it and just fucking do the ultimate gay playthrough and then just upload it to my YouTube channel with a title, Let's All Be Gay. Like, I don't know, like, it's just so fucking ridiculous that people are upset. Anyway, he's not seen any gayness, and as he rightly says, it isn't attuned for, let's say, modern American sensibilities, in the sense that there's United Colors of Benetton commercial looking. You know, it's all very ethnically accurate to the people that would have been there at the time, apart from one black character, which, by the way, I think you're telling on yourself if you get upset at one black character in a video game. Like, one black character is too much. Now, spoiler, what's coming in this stream? I went through all 1,054 negative reviews. That's how I spent one of my days off. And I've picked all the best for you. So, stick around. But a few of those accounts, yeah. Jice asks, did you really go through them all? Every single one. Yes, sir. Yes, I did. I don't know if that's like an abnormal thing to do, but I did it. So, I mean, and look, you know, some of it you're just skimming because you can see all the trigger words immediately. You know, like fucking people go, shit, it's optimized, don't like the save game. You go, yeah, you're not interested to me. But then it's like, yeah, this is a Satanist game. Alright, here we fucking go. This is the shit. So reading the reviews was as fun as playing the game, by all accounts. It's got a lot of bugs and stuff at the moment, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about big gay coming for your video games, aren't we? Optional big gay. So anyway, there you go. You heard it from a respected reviewer, right? And one of the things that has upset people, and we'll get to it a little bit later, is there's a perception they hid the gay, right? They hid the gay. Favreau was out there saying, or Daniel Favreau was out there saying, the perception is he said there was no gay, and we haven't gone woke, and don't you get upset about it. And then because they lied, they lied, people died, and it was a big betrayal. Now, what's actually been said is we would have put a gay quest line in the first one if we had the resources. Anyway, we'll come to all of that in a moment. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to shock you all. I'm going to shock the world. All right, I don't think I can get banned from Twitch for this, but if I get banned from this, then they're bigots. So, checkmate atheists. But I'm going to show you the big gay scene. I'm going to do it to you, right? I'm going to show you the 4-minute big gay scene that has caused the controversy. And I'm warning you, right? If you can't handle extreme gay sex, you're in trouble, because this is in a fucking video game. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So this is your last chance. This is your last chance to fucking turn off the stream and go and do your ablutions and unfollow me, as is demanded by your God. But here we go. Gay scenes. Let's listen to the dialogue as well, because I think it's kind of important, isn't it? One of the things I've always hated about homophobes is they only focus on the sex. And you can, by the way, this is a great little trick that you can play on people to find out if they're homophobic. You just ask them, is being a homosexual, is being gay, is being a lesbian, is it about sex? And they'll go, well, of course it is. Of course it is. It's about who you fuck, isn't it? It's like, so it's not about love then. Because, you see, they can conceptualize a heterosexual being in a loving relationship and having a family. They can't do that about gay people. Yeah, it's the secret tell. It's the secret tell. I've had people unironically say to me, but it's in the name, homosexual. Okay, heterosexual, what the fuck are we on about? People are ridiculous. In 2025, in the year of our Lord, right? So, the bros, Hans and Henry, are just chilling, right? They're just in a fire, right? Just by a fire, having a chat, they've had a battle. Spoilers as well. It's not just gay, there's big gay spoilers.
They only fought side by side. Went on campaign, they slept in the same tent. They even seduced court ladies together.
Holy mighty one, holy immortal one, have mercy on us. O angel of Christ,
Well,
holy
it
God.
sounds like we have a lot in common with them.
Aye, that's why I'm talking about them. They went through a lot together. Until Lancelot was eventually captured. Everyone thought he was dead. When Galahad found out, well, he was distraught. He felt life was meaningless all of a sudden. In the end, he dies too, of grief and sorrow. Henry.
Oh, yeah.
If anything happens to you, then, why the hell can't I save you once for a change?
Right, now, I just want to make it abundantly clear how optional this is. Do you see that big option? Kiss him, right? Now, if you don't click on that, that's it. All you have to do is avoid that. And yet, so many have failed, okay? But not in this playthrough. In this playthrough, we're going full gay, right?
I'll be back. I promise you. No, everything will be all right. I'll bring reinforcements.
Uh-oh. Hey.
I'm sorry. I just
Gay violins. And what's great about it is the swords are touching, and we call that, ladies and gentlemen, semiology or symbolism, right? Now, that's what triggered people. That's the big gay sex scene that triggered everyone. Now, I'm from the world, I came up with a fucking Witcher, where it's like you can literally hear Geralt's balls slapping off people's asses. Like, so, I don't fucking know what... that's like so tame to me. I can't imagine, that anyone would get super upset about that, even if you were homophobic. It's just mental, right? And that's it. That's the big gay sex scene. That's got everyone going crazy. Now, look, obviously, there's been the memes, right? There's been memes. You know, not everyone's on board with it, right? We had this, look at this, like broke back medieval edition, because IGN posted a video super quickly to own the chuds, right? On how to romance Hans, and Kingdom go, no, don't romance him. It's like Brokeback Mountain. Yeah, by the way, it is. Great comparison. A married, closeted man and a guy who doesn't have any of those things. The only thing that's like, you know, keeping him held back is his own imposition. By the way, apparently there's all these like straight fire fucking dialogue about how it's a sin after they sleep with each other and I'm going to hell now, all this stuff. It's not like it didn't just happen in a vacuum, right? Like, you know, like lots of things. Anyway, that's it. That's your big, shocking, gay, ruining the game, globo homo agenda in a video game. That's that, right? Now, obviously, it's culture war slop, and it's just crazy the lengths people started going to ultimately try and own this game. I'm going to just show you one character that's in this, a guy called John Del Arroz. Don't follow him. I had him pre-blocked. I was like, oh, okay, right? But he's been banging this drum non-stop. This is the type of shit he's posting. He's been spamming Vav here. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is one of the biggest insults to gamers and Christians in recent years. It was all about trying to be subversive and woke, promoting DEI and lying to gamers along the way. Here's how it went down. A thread. And that's the type, that's the type of stuff he's been producing around this. To be fair, he's been like the fucking loudest proponent of it. Daniel Vavra, funnily enough, absolutely fucking destroyed this guy. Thanks to, I've got this tweet from Legacy Killer. They found out that he had posted fucking about furries and also allegedly had a fucking domestic violence restraining order, and Vavra tweeted it out with, "Is this you?" I'll show you one of the pictures. We'll roll the dice on that. See? Dat you. Nice furry ass. There you go. So, I mean, you know, far be it from me to say the lady doth fucking protest too much. Also, seemed to be posting about bronies as well, which Legacy Killer grabbed. And there it is. Pony ass. I mean, I don't know. Kind of don't know how Christian that is, but kind of might be one to talk about with your priest. I don't know. So anyway, it ended up being dragged into this culture war thing, and people were claiming, falsely apparently, that it was costing the money. And you can see here, this is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It says pre-orders are unaffected by the anti-woke backlash. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has been making headlines for the past week or so, not because its release is now right around the corner, but because a certain section of its potential fan base is upset about some of its content. That led to claims of cancelled pre-orders and plummeting sales, but Kingdom Come writer Daniel Vavra has responded and claimed that's simply not true. Vavra focused on one grifter in particular who told their followers on YouTube that rumours Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 might be banned in Saudi Arabia due to it possibly including a same-sex romance. The writer noted those claims are false, revealing the sales returns ratio of the sequel's pre-orders are the same as they were before all this unnecessary criticism began. You can see this is the tweet here. He said, no, our pre-orders haven't dropped because of backlash. The sold return copies ratio is the same as it is. What happened is that the preview hype is naturally waned and now massively discounted games entered the chart. Monster Hunter is down as well. And so anyway, Vavra has been on Twitter and he's just been fucking lighting people up, which, by the way, you probably just mute your Twitter account when you're in the middle of something like this and walk away. I've learned the hard way. You can't really tweet through it, but he certainly has tried to, and he's been replying to the chuds and the crazies and all the shit that people have been saying. This is the type of nonsense he's had to kind of deal with. He pointed out the tweet I just showed you from John Della Roz here, and he said, this caricature of a man is literally crying and whining for a month about one optional choice in a side quest in a 100-plus hour game without even playing it. Imagine how insecure he must be about his own preferences. Meanwhile, everybody who actually played the game doesn't give a fuck. And then, in the replies to this kind of shows you the level of where we're at with the kind of chud that's getting triggered by this. If Hans's romance is optional, then burning him at the stake for being homosexual should be as well, since that's how they dealt with sodomy back then, right? Just a reasonable thing to say out loud in a video game. Now, there's been content as well created to this effect, where I saw one of the craziest videos. This individual has nearly 200,000 YouTube followers, which I was kind of like, wow. But I'm just gonna play you a clip of this. And again, obviously, don't endorse this, blah blah blah. You know, I'm making the
what a
point.
Right. What a tolerant and accepting time the medieval Middle Ages were. Right? Am I right? And guys, let me ask you this: if you only sometimes put wieners in your mouth, are you straight? No. You're a sodomite. But Henry is not. They specifically said here he is not gay. He's not bi. What's going on, guys? I'm just going to get right to the point here. Do not buy Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. This game is a non-binary at this point. I would have said...
Not going to lie, I hate this video, but that's kind of funny.
Wait and see. But we have pretty much seen everything we need to see now. Daniel Vavra, the game's creator, has confirmed that they have destroyed the lore of the first game. I'll remind you that Henry was canonically a straight white Christian male who honored God in the first game. And now we have confirmed from Daniel Vavra that he is bi and he can have same-sex relationships in the second game. So I was saying wait and see on this game. I'm not even saying wait and see anymore. He's confirmed that they turned Henry into a sodomite.
There you go. So, strong uptake for sodomite in that video. More on BlackRock a little bit later on. BlackRock will be there. As I said, all conspiracy theories do lead to anti-Semitism. We will get there. We will get there. All in due time. So, this is the general tenor of the outrage bait that people are engaging in because of this totally optional choice that you don't have to engage in, that is barely telegraphed at all. That, by the way, some people have pulled out little clips of dialogue saying there were some hints in the first game. You can see that they're not making it up. They were intentionally going to go for it. And one of the things that I think is hilarious is they're calling Vavra a woke warrior now. Now, I want to remind you what a little fucking edgelord Daniel Vavra was. This is the guy they're calling woke, wearing a based t-shirt that says he's a white, privileged, able-bodied, cisgender, basement-dwelling, man-baby, virgin scum. Can't even see what that is now because of the bend. MRA, neckbeard, shitlord. He's woke now, guys. He's woke because he's put an optional gay quest line in. And, by the way, not even gay, bi. You know, it is technically bi, right? You know, but phallocentric. Yeah, I get it. Okay, right, that makes sense. So there you go. Vavra's woke now. This guy's woke now, which is just an absurd assertion. And look, I will say, in that regard of them lamenting, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2's developer is fed up of being dragged into the culture war. Well, listen. You can't be doing things like this and then crying about being in the culture war. You've been a vocal proponent of fighting in the trenches of the culture war. You have used all the controversy around your game to sell that game. And look, this happens to a lot of people. Sometimes you cultivate an audience you don't want. And that's why you've got to be very careful and very attuned in what you say and how people are going to take it. And Vavra absolutely hasn't done that. And so as a result, is it any wonder that you have this small percentage of absolute man babies that cannot handle that fact that there might have been some closet gay people in medieval Europe? Oh, and by the way, one black merchant in a bustling Bohemian city, right? Like, it's really a self-report to be upset about any of that. Now, I think we'll just get to the reviews. I went through 1,054 negative reviews on Steam, and I clipped the best, and I'm going to show you them now. It is the recurring things that are said in this are just mental. And when I say mental, yeah, just buckle up, guys. And this is in no particular order. This is just chronologically as I went through. The things people are saying about this game, and you've seen it now, you've seen the big gay scene. Henry and Hans are now gay lovers, and there is a black Muslim supremacist NPC that talks about how great Islam is. Laughing my fucking ass off. This is from a realistic medieval European fantasy RPG, who the creator of the game said he would never have Africans in his game because it would be stupid, and that Henry was a straight Christian. Guess the flesh lump sold out for the woke ESG money. Well, I'm straight up getting a refund. I'm sure the devs enjoyed spending hours making gay sex cutscenes more than they would my money anyway, lol. Now, I want you to remember, right, that at 0.1 hours, you haven't got out the tutorial. It's not that the tutorial is front-loaded with the gay sex. So, just putting that out there. Developer lied and hid the gay shit from us. Henry and Hans are gay. Gay sex scene. 4-hour opening tutorial. 95% of the game is a cutscene. Janky combat. Boring story. Women constantly yapping. Checked Vavra's early life. That's an anti-Semitic trope. I hope I can refund, even though it was pre-ordered months ago. Tired of this woke shit. 1.1 hours there. One of the best games ever made. Years of work by hundreds of people, all threw in the trash for some money. And after all that big talk about making games for gamers, the DEI stuff isn't overly subversive. They are being way more deceptive and devious with it. Absolutely destroyed any goodwill and trust I had with these clowns. See, you really can't win on the DEI front, even though it's got nothing to do with DEI. But you see, what they've done is that by putting one black character in and having one gay sex scene in, they're actually being subversive. Whereas if they put loads of gay sex in and loads of black characters, they would have been in your face. You can't win. You can't win. Lost all respect. Still played it for 15 hours in 2 days at the time of release. I waited for this game like a kid on Christmas. The last few weeks of waiting went by agonizingly slow. I jump in and I'm blown away by how great it looks. Blown away, eh? Runs and feels. I'm so happy I ignored all of the people trying to ruin the game. After the prologue, I get into the camp, see my faithful doggo Mutt, and a huge smile creeps on my face. Then I go up to Sir Hans, one of my all-time favourite rivals to friend stories in a video game, to chat with him. We agreed to a duel for some groschen. I'm borderline shaking with excitement. Then I talk to him to start the duel, and all hell breaks loose. He sounds weird. His tone is a bit strange. I ignore it. Then he makes a jokes about us fighting a sword duel with our cocks. Signs were there. Oh no, surely the rumours are not true, and they did not make Sir Hans have a crush on you. Why does he sound so flirtatious? Why is the first joke he cracks about us touching cocks? So I go to YouTube, and literally before I even type anything, I'm recommended How to Romance Sir Hans by none other than IGN. We all know how the algorithm works. So, I'm done. I ignored this stuff, and they made it so obvious within literally 10 minutes of gameplay that I can't ignore it. Thanks a lot. I can't even change my hairstyle, but I can romance Sir Hans. Do all good male friends have to be secret lovers? TLDR, you can't get a haircut on launch day, but you can lose your maidenhood. Now, by the way, 25.7 hours. that's almost, he's had the game running for almost, this was done like 36 hours after launch or something when I screenshotted all of this. So I don't know. It's not that upsetting, is it? Daniel Vavra, woke warrior, ruined the legacy of this game. 45 hours. Like he's literally had it on. He's like literally had it on the whole time, by the way. He's had it on from the moment he could turn it on, he's had it on. Ruin this game that I have had on, that I've been up on fucking Biker Crank for fucking 3 days straight playing. It's shit. I hate it. I hate how gay it is. I hate how gay it is, but I can't stop playing it. Lead developer openly mocked Christianity. We will refund. Oh, they also made the main character gay. Ew. And post. This guy spammed this comment on almost every review. All the people saying it's optional or it's a side quest for other people that may enjoy it are the problem. This shouldn't even exist in society, let alone be allowed in a video game. Early life on Wikipedia of Daniel Vavra tells you everything you need to know. The Jews can't control themselves. And there we go. We've hit anti-Semitism pretty early on. Strong uptake for that. You see, with conspiracy theorists, some people believe global homo is part of a Jewish agenda to ruin Western society for reasons I can't ever understand. They can never explain. They can't ever make a coherent case for why they would want to do that, as Jewish people are part of that same society as well. So, but that's what they say. That's what the conspiracy theorists do indeed say. Bit of an epic one, this one, guys, so buckle up. I posted this to the Discord. It's a toughie. I couldn't imagine writing anything this long, even something I liked. This would be like something I would, if I was going to go to this length, I wouldn't put it up on a Steam review. I'd put it up on Substack. 3.4 hours and stirred these strong feelings. Perhaps one of the biggest rifts between generational culture will be the connotation of homosexuality and the millennial era's aggressive attempts to normalise and casualise it in media. Perhaps the Hays Code wasn't so draconian. Sexuality has always been a spiritual weapon with its own radioactive aura of consequence that spreads through mere exposure. The is that going to be Europhilic? Anyway, whatever. Once indignantly chastised the American revulsion of nudity and sex while smugly pointing Eurohylic? Is that a word? Not a word I know, and I consider myself to be smart. So this guy's smarter than me, obviously. Better listen to what he's got to say. Once indignantly chastised the American revulsion of nudity and sex while smugly pointing to our love of excessive violence. They pride themselves on the crude, lumpy ugliness of the naked human body, creating entire TV shows dedicated to anatomically exposing flaccid penis and obese aging breasts to young children in a sort of jokey, casual, half-educational tone, completely incapable of passing the basic intuitive understanding that violence in media doesn't have the same effect on developing minds that sexuality does. This dynamic has long expired in the face of so many Netflix sodomy Trojan horse slop shows and crude half RPGs where the player vehicle blank protagonist is given a shopping aisle of random cohorts to sodomize. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Do you remember that in Mass Effect? Well, you would be like, right, well, I've got to kill all these Reapers, but first, sodomy. Remember that? At least the Japanese were honest about dating sims. The secret to making a girl love you is in fact giving her 50 of her favourite things and getting random pop quizzes right. Tell me you're an incel without telling me. He thinks dating sims are like real life. Sexuality in video games is an unwelcome intrusion. If you disagree, it's because you've accepted the unsteady premise of mixing spiritual pornography with your leisure, like eating a sandwich on the toilet. Playing a video game to be aroused is an extremely dangerous mixture of sedentary activities, which has created a transification pipeline. Oh, they're trans and the kids now. A transification pipeline for young mentally askew men across the West and the East too. There was once some clarity in context when it came to fucking in a video game. The developers treated it like some awkward dispersion of credibility in plot, reducing the character interaction into a two-button initiation action dialogue choice and implied intercourse rapidly cutting to the aftermath. But the modern video game has pretensions of depth and romance. At best, the modern game will railroad you into horribly stale dialogue written by dorks whose idea of intimacy and emotional vulnerability comes from imitating monologues stolen the top posts of all-time results from a fanfiction subreddit. They enable 90 IQ consumer players to engage with their character on a direct level, not simply observing the protagonist fuck a lot of, I don't know, whatever, hell yeah, but now actually contorting their psychology into being the character, actually dating and fucking the demon lady or mage huntress or whatever man-faced frumpy shrew dialogued cardboard cutout prop some fucking dev assembled for the benefit of imaginary masturbation at the hands of first generation Brazilian Xbox owners. That person is deeply unwell. We move on. The game itself is good, but there is some problem with some characters in the game. Oh, I wonder what the problem could be, Mr. 11.8 hours. Let's see. Company made a pepperoni pizza called The Pizza. Customer asks if they can serve a pineapple version of the pizza. Company says no, the pizza is a pepperoni pizza. It is what it is. Okay. Years later, company made The Pizza 2, which include an option for pineapple pizza. Customer is visibly confused. But pineapples are gays in this. Just in case you're not going to pineapples are the gay. You see, pepperonis for the men. The big meaty sausages for the heteros. And the delicious, sweet, fruity, juicy goodness, that's for the gays, apparently. Customer is visibly confused. You're fucking confused, all right. Asks why, considering what the company said before. One part of the company doesn't want to answer and behaves unprofessionally. Another part bans customers. A third part gives reasons unrelated to initial stances of the first The Pizza. Customer now knows while The Pizza might be a good tasting meal, they're now potentially dealing with a company that doesn't respect what they've created and are incompetent to explain the change correctly. They took a dump on the pizza and are expecting us to eat around it if we don't like it. Because right at the end, the pineapple became poo. Right, I need a beer. Today's beer is Yeti. Hazy IPA. Not a sponsor, just a nice drink. Next. Henry can be gay. They made Hans gay. Two main pillars that held up KCD1 have been removed, and it's not down to creative freedom. It's the first signs of infection. The game does not feel as if it was made by the same people, and most of it an interactive movie, which is a tool to give you a push in a certain direction, know what I mean? The game's making me gay, know what I mean? I feel Warhorse is lost to us. By the way, there was two pillars in that scene. You just couldn't see them, blurred out. Soft focus lens. I am very disappointed the Woke Brigade got to Warhorse to turn a funny friendship into something gay. Personally, I think it's disgraceful what gaming is doing at the moment, and a lot of media. It has done nothing for the gay community, but created division between gamers and the LGBTQ. For they are different groups, you see. Are you gay? No, I'm a gamer. Sorry. No. All right. Say no more. Say no more. Disgusting from these studios. It ruined what is a very good game. #EndWoke. In a reply to that review, the fact they tried to hide the wokeness until the very end, because yes, that's exactly how the game operates. It's like all one big quest line, and then it's like, oh, do I get the fuck hands at the end? Right, that's it. And then you just win. You win the game, actually. That's the victory condition. Piping hands. And then went like, guess what, everyone? Gay main character, don't worry, it's optional. Just highlights their hypocrisy. The game had obviously been in development for years, so it's pretty obvious now that they took ESG money from the globalists a few years back when you could still get away with shit like this. And of course, that money came with specific diversity guidelines. They knew they were sitting on a ticking time bomb, a time bomb of gay that's going to blow up, and everyone's going to get showered in confetti and be gay forever. It's a time bomb of gay. A ticking time bomb by the time SBI got exposed. And yet, they presented themselves to the outside world as this base developer who was openly unwoke, cares about historical accuracy and traditional Christian values, until they couldn't anymore because the release of the product would expose them for what they are: disgusting, dishonest hypocrites. I just added disgusting there. Maybe he's bringing me in with his messaging, charismatic. Just like that, they have irreparably destroyed their trustworthiness and reputation as a based studio. I will no longer buy anything from this company, I can tell you that much. A developer should know that now, in the post-woke era, distancing yourself from any sort of ideological indoctrination is key if you want your products to be successful and build trust with your customers. What do we learn from this? Don't take money from investors who try to inject their political ideology into your product. I think you'll be all right on that front, mate. In a reply to that, yeah, I get you. Why can't they make their own gay games and leave the cool ones out of it? Because nobody would buy gay games, so they try to sneak it into the cool market. Now look, we all know market forces work like this, don't we? You have cool at one end and gay at the other, and they're diametrically opposed, and you have a choice. Oh, do I want a cool game or do I want a gay game? I mean, no one buys the gay games, by the way. So what you have to do is you have to make a cool game, and then when no one's looking, fucking have some gay. Get that in there. Get that fucking gay in there. That's how that works. Science. Oh, God, it's another long one. Help me, Jesus. Amazing game with a great story that looks incredible, runs well, sounds great, and feels great to play. But tarnished by a few really bad calls. 31.5 hours, right? This guy's playing it. Had the devs been more clear about how prevalent their injection of modern worldviews are, one gay scene, one black character, I would not have purchased. That would have been the deal breaker, you see. The message, critical drinker viewer probably. For some reason, there is an overrepresentation of gays. An overrepresentation of gays and gay romance for the main character. The entire storyline with Hans just feels like it's constantly leaning towards a gay relationship. It feels forced and doesn't make any sense. You will also meet a black Muslim man who will lecture you on how his own Muslim nation is better than yours and treats its women better, lol. Cumans are also painted as poor innocent refugees, being bullied by the local populations, all white, still wearing the very same armour they wore while pillaging, murdering and struggle-cuddling said populations. On a positive note, you can enter into a schizophrenic drunken rage induced by a talking dog and kill them all as God intended. Wellness check for this guy. Would have been 10 out of 10, but the above issues really sour the milk. 6 to 7 out of 10. If you are okay with medieval stories being told through a modern lens, you'll have an even better time than me. Next. Every interaction with Hans is now awkward and off-putting. Why did you fuck him? I mean, you didn't have to. Sad stuff. Male paternal friendship and brotherhood has been completely betrayed by that even being an option. Also, these lunatics are painting Islam as some paragon of morality while degrading Western values and culture. Shame on the developers of this game. I could not even make it past the introduction without being browbeaten by modern political discourse. So, you didn't see the gay and you didn't meet the Muslim. Very cool. I was expecting a medieval tale, but instead, I got an AIDS simulator. 4 hours there. Now, while we're on the subject of historical accuracy, there wasn't AIDS in 1403. So, that comes later. Also realised that sounded like Bane, didn't it? Fucking, now is not the time for AIDS. That comes later. But, anyway. I refunded after playing less than 2 hours. Love the original, but the way the characters look and act doesn't feel authentically like characters from the previous game. That, not to mention the controversy around it, really makes me feel like the characters aren't themselves anymore. I may purchase for $20 or $30 down the line, not a fucking deal breaker then, but currently it makes me sad right after replaying the first game again. These totally fake characters aren't fake in the way I canonically imagined them to be fake. Reasonable. Next. My problem with all the drama about this game is they deliberately chose not to point out the woke shit when advertising it. At least if they did, it wouldn't have felt like a spit in the face. Refunding. Which presupposes that the advertising campaign he would have been happy with is they would have had Henry and Hans in bed with each other. All kissing and that. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You can have sex. You can have gay sex in one scene. That's the commercial he wanted. While I love the historical setting, and the game seems to be very well made quality-wise so far, the woke crap has to go. Get it out! Stop it now! Or you will reap your due rewards. He's talking about Fire and Brimstone. I don't want to see this studio go under, but if that's what has to happen to get this LGBT sewage, yes, testify, out of our media, then so be it. Please stop acting like a scorned child about it. It's only making it worse for you guys. Nobody wants Henry to be a homosexual, and the people that do can go play a regime-approved AAA game. Please don't burn your own studio down. I really enjoyed the first one. Come along, guys. Time for your regime-approved gay video games. Press A. Whatever. Fuck this. Oh, we're not even halfway. We all know why the bad review, aside of the great game, they got bought by big game. Why the fuck are there Muslims and blacks in this? And there'll be more racism a little bit later on. All the controversy leading up to launch, the lies from devs, DEI push has taken this game from a 10 out of 10 to a 5 out of 10. And if I end up with a certain cutscene, I'm deleting on the spot. Very disappointed in Warhouse. Fuck's sake. Betrayed the fan base. 13 hours. He thinks there's a world where the gay sex scene is going to jump up on his screen like a fucking jump scare. Like it's 5 gay nights at Freddy's. You're just playing. No! I'm disappointed in the throwing away of their vision. Oh, okay, let's make it eloquent. After playing a bit, the start was bland and expectable. The gameplay seemed... They're not sending their best. The gameplay seemed the same as the last game. Then I learned the new DEI stuff they have put in. I have to say that the amount of it would be totally acceptable if it was done in the first game, but they were adamant they would keep it realistic. Introducing new gay characters in the game would be also acceptable. Making a protagonist bisexual is a really stupid decision now, but making Hans gay, whose personality revolves around women, is really dumb. All this wouldn't really bother me any other game, but it hindered the single part of the game that made it special, being authentic and immersive. I won't reward retconning and sneaking in... I think that might be a spicy word. For investors with €80, so I have refunded it. Profile doesn't show that he's refunded it. Refunding this was a sad... Refunding this was a sad, but the best decision I could have made. Taking a stand is a sacrifice in itself. I'm taking a stance about the belittling of the Christian religion into having two Christian men ending up as best friends / homosexuals. Do you think there's no gay Christians? Well, Kingdom Walk. Now look, you have to pick a joke here. You could have gone DEI Deliverance or Degenerance. You can't mix both. It doesn't work. Kingdom Walk, Degenerant. It's too much. You've overloaded your buffet. You've gone to the buffet of metaphor and puns, and you fucking overloaded it, mate. You've gone mental. Not worth my time. If not woke stuff, game would be 7 out of 10, just as KCD1. Battle system is slow and weird. Everything else seems to be okay-ish. Maybe buy back later when based mods appear. Vavra shouldn't be cooked by investors. Why make Hans gay? 14 hours. Why? Why make him gay? They're also missing the point, by the way, because obviously Hans was a bit of a, if you played the first game, he's a bit of a fucking bushmaster, you know, arch sword guy. It's not that he's just gay for anyone. He's specifically in a gay romance with you because you've everything you've been through. By the way, I know this is going to blow some people's minds. Feelings can gather. You say, you know, I've never felt this way about a guy before, but now I do. Oh God, you know, this is depth of feeling because it's not just about sex. You see, it's about love. But no, you can't explain that to the chuds. You just can't. They don't get it. They've never lived. They've never lived a life. Right, next. This is from Der Chosen One. You are playing the game wrong. You're supposed to come out as non-binary, have a four-way with Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and George Soros while chanting specific verses of the Talmud. Well, and we're back there, aren't we? All roads lead. Gay option. Gay option. The option. Warhorse sold out, strayed from the values and story of the first game. Gay option. Sad to see Embracer Group is making this game gay. Thought Warhorse Studios had a spine. That's it, guys. The whole game's gay. The whole game is gay. It's just gay. Straight up gay. You just can't avoid gay. Play the game, gay. Believe it or not, straight to gay. Henry's turned gay. Henry's turned gay. And some cutscenes are unskippable. Maybe even that one. By the way, if you're watching the gay cutscene, you've took all the gay options. That's what we call a payoff in media. Why would you take all of the gay options to romance your homie and then, but like, I don't want to look at it. I mean, like, combat's improved, but still a shame, really, and not worth until the crap is modded out. Game also includes out-of-place sub-Saharan African merchants. Because we all know no one ever travelled in the 1400s. Betrayal, movie game slop. Refunded. He will never get over the betrayal. Has gays in it and won't load. So, I mean, what I love about that is, right, and people made the joke on Twitter when I posted this, was one of the reviews I posted. That was when I realised I was going to go through every review. People were going, oh, he wants it to load so we can see the gays. He's actually a progressive. No, but you see, what's really happening is, he is saying that in his capsule review, if the game won't load and you can't play it at all, it is totally and utterly broken. That's as bad as it featuring a gay. Food for thought. You can romance Hans. Very stupid thing to add to this game. As a KCD1 fan, sadness me. 18.5 hours. Sadness me over my fake gay friends that aren't even gay. Don't have to be in my world. Can you report Hans to the church? I mean, it took me 618 hours in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 and 7 years in real life to find out about this. I'm going to say no, you can't rat out the fake guy to the fake church to get him in trouble for being fake gay. I'm just going to Probably not something they accounted for. Although, by the way, what a fucking mad heel turn that would be. Haha, I've made you gay. And then you immediately report him to the local bishop and he just gets killed for being gay. That'd be fucking, maybe that'll be in a DLC. Who knows? Absolute cunt DLC. Coming soon. Henry was retconned to be interested in men. Hans, the main womanizer of the first game, is interested in men. These two can now have a romance. Normal male friendship is not allowed in entertainment today. Black made-up character... They're all made up, mate. Black made-up character is walking around Bohemia. Straight men can just casually turn gay. Just pure propaganda in this game. And people did let themselves be deceived by what Daniel Vavra told, going everywhere and talking optional argument. Wild dogs can hunt you into a village, but no NPC will give a shit. Henry is now interested in old gods. I tried to save Guy from being muged by throwing stone into a bandit from afar, which caused them to kill the poor guy and walk away. Trader at Beguining will tell you his goods feel to river, and it was really valuable, and while you can retrieve it, you are unable to return it. Seems like a oversight to me, but at least you can sell it to him. He will of course gladly pay for his own goods twice. All this and game is out just few hours. Imagine what else we will find in this game. I will probably change this review after I play this game more, but these are issues I see now with this game. For now, I am not recommending this. I think we just move on. Reply to that one from a white guy. Oh, do tell me what direction this is going to go in. Yet another game destroyed by the weird homosexual agenda that grips our media industries. Degeneracy and disgusting behaviour. The first game was such a gem too. It's all right, people are tired of this immorality and the pendulum is beginning to swing back the other direction. This stuff is going to get stamped out in the not-so-distant future. Trump's America, ladies and gentlemen. The reckoning is coming. No hardcore mode. They forgot about true fans. Hardcore gay mode, mate. Check it out. Also, woke propaganda. They made Hans gay. Marley Merchant calling white people uneducated, while their countrymen are full ripe cannibals every day. They eat women mostly at this period of time. Subtle texts fitting into propaganda from start of the game. He was hearing voices. Be gay, be gay. What? Be gay. Vavra got his BlackRock Embracer money and bent the knee. Now, by the way, I strongly suspect this is satire, but I included it because ultimately, satire or not, they did leave a thumbs down. So, but I chuckled at this one. I signed up to be a medieval warrior, a sword-wielding badass, carving my name into history. But instead, Hans took me on a forced journey of debauchery that stripped me of my manhood faster than a botched circumcision. 1 minute, I'm sharpening my blade. The next, Hans whispers sweet nothings about noble responsibilities. By the time I woke up, my dignity was gone, my masculinity in question, and Hans was smirking like he'd just put the cum in Kingdom Come Deliverance. 3 out of 10, historically traumatic. Love this one. Gay Henry. Like, just the fucking laziest. The laziest attempt at engaging with outrage ever. Gay Henry. Just gay Henry. Fucking gay Henry. Just gay Henry. What do you think of that new Kingdom Come Deliverance? Gay Henry. Leave DEI out of this game. Games are games, not political or social statements, and are for entertainment, not for SJW wankers to ruin. There you go. Games are games. You putting political fucking statements in games? Are you fucking idiot? They're games. They're meant for entertainment only. And we all know there's nothing entertaining about a well-written video game. Based and true build. Daniel Vavra is a lying, two-faced, cowardly... 34.6 hours. A lying, two-faced, cowardly loser who was lying to his fans up until launch. Yes, this game is banned in Saudi Arabia. Yes, they made Henry homosexual after stately plainly. Didn't he sing? Wasn't he the lead singer of Alice in Chains? Stately plainly, he was a heterosexual, and that would never change. They double backed on diversity in the Middle Ages, and now they have a representative from Mali, a country which still to this day practices slavery, preaching about how great his country is. They ruined combat and made it infinitely worse now, or they all wait their turn like idiots standing in a line. It's sad to see a great franchise being sold out by a snivelling weasel with no integrity. It's an excellent game if you like role-playing as a homosexual man. 24.2 hours. So, like, yeah, you do then, yeah? Like, I don't know. What am I meant to glean from this guy again, I think? I love to just passively... That was a reply to the previous review. I love to just passively consume the product without asking questions, without offering resistance, without questioning self-proclaimed moral authorities, and then get excited for the next product. After all, my dopamine fixes all that matters, right? I like being dependent on products and services that tell me what to think and what to do, because I have no thoughts of my own, lol. By the way, BlackRock is my favourite company in the world. They are giving money to everyone to make the world more diverse, Hart. We are going to get to the BlackRock stuff. That's coming. There's a forced black guy. What is that? What is that? What is a forced black guy? What do you mean? All right. There's a forced black guy who belittles the Czech people and Bohemia as a whole and goes on to lie about his African Muslim country being clearly superior. By the way, like, what? It's not like he's saying that, but like, you know, when characters say things in game, it's a representation of what they believe and what they feel and what they think. It's not like a mission statement about what's true and what isn't, is it? About his African Muslim country being clearly superior, which literally a 5-second Google search would tell you he's a bold-faced liar. He was there according to sources, but he's a DEI implant. And there's way too much gayness in the game. If I didn't have... find a fucking full stop is what you need to do. If I didn't have more hours than what's refundable, I wouldn't play it. 10.9 hours, by the way. Unfortunately, I wasted money on Gold Edition. Henry was done so horribly in this game, and it's a damn shame because the combat is much better, and there's a lot of good stuff they added that they didn't in the first, and it's a shame they threw such blatant and disgusting modern politics in the game. I had my DEI implant in my scrotum. Next, well, at least the 20 gay dudes that play this game will be happy. Another case of appeasing the minority at the expense of the majority. Just about that. Apologies for Polygon, but just real quick, just for the headline, right? The 20 gay dudes that are playing the game, it sold 1 million copies in 24 hours. So the Chud boycott didn't quite pan out. I'm sure there are more than 20 gay dudes in that million that it sold in 24 hours. But yeah, just saying. Woke nonsense. This Sparta. Hey Sparta, we found your Steam account, mate. Woke nonsense. Kingdom Come Rainbow Deliverance. Nice try. You thought you could turn me gay. Nice try. You thought you could turn me gay. You can't turn me gay. Nice try. Miss me. You missed me with a gay. Nice try. Hey! Henry's come to sodomize us. Medieval, DEI, gay, Jew, black simulator. This game is gay. Thumbs down. This game is gay. Richard Nixon here, very gay. I wasn't showing the names of the Steam accounts because some people put some outrageous stuff. But when it's Richard Nixon with love hearts around him, I'm sorry, homie. Very gay. Literally. It's literally gay. My optional gay choice in a video game, literally gay, will be returning. He means returning to play it. Negative. This is the final one and it's too perfect. Negative. Leaving this hopefully temporary negative review to counterbalance against the flood of uninformed positive reviews. Don't trust them. They are glazing hard for reasons that do not concern the true gamer. I am going to play this tonight and confirm if it is actually good or not. Keep your eyes open. This gayness does not concern the true gamer. Oh no. Those positive reviews, gays. But I'm going to play for real and tell you whether or not it's fake gay positivity or just fucking it is good. So, all of which is to say, the reviews have been absurd. Those are like the 50 best that I picked out. It's got a lot of negative reviews. A lot of the negative reviews, to be fair, I'd say the majority of the negative reviews, they're just about, performance. Apparently it's not very well optimized, blah, 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 blah. It's going to have all the problems that a launch day game of its type is going to have in the modern games market, and we can all have a discussion about whether or not that's acceptable or not. That's the overwhelming majority of the negative reviews. The culture war garbage has barely really made a dent, and it's these fringe kind of lunatics, as I said, that ultimately have become the social justice warriors that they once decried. These are the people now asking for censorship in a video game. These are the people that are now trying to cancel developers for lying. But I will add, there was one conspiracy theory that was constantly recurring throughout the comments, and obviously you guys will want to fucking talk about that. So let's get it. And that is that you saw BlackRock. Now, you all know BlackRock are, don't need to give you any lessons on that. You're a big fucking company, investing in everything, own everything. Yeah. Somewhere along the line, if you fucking trace to like ESG, they had like a percentage of BlackRock investment, and then ESG bought like fucking Embracer, and then Embracer bought Warhorse Studios. So there's like about 4 layers of abstraction back to BlackRock. But because of this like globo homo agenda, where apparently it's not just it's not just the anti-Semitics, it's that somehow BlackRock are woke and they want to make everyone gay, and that's that. So, obviously, high on the BlackRock agenda, apparently, is to buy up independent video game studios and make them insert gay characters into video games. So you play the game, and you, a non-gay person, are hypnotized by the gay and turned gay, which we all know that's how gay works. So that's what they are saying when they reference BlackRock. And there was just one thread that I just couldn't believe. This was on the Steam forums, of all places. A hotbed of intelligent discussion. And you can see, look, there is no way to make it more explicit than this. BlackRock to Embracer to PlayOn, Warhorse to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Exactly. Let's break it down step by step for those who still don't get it. So we're going to go deep in the conspiracy. BlackRock is one of the largest asset management firms in the world and a major advocate of ESG, environmental social governance. They're notorious for pushing corporations to adopt ESG frameworks, which include DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. Embracer Group is heavily tied to ESG compliance. Their public statements repeatedly highlight the commitment to DEI principles and how central it is to their operations. They don't just follow ESG, they champion it. PlayOn, formerly Koch Media, a subsidiary of Embracer, is a textbook DEI enforcer. Just take a look at their projects like Project AWR, Asian Women Representation, or their public use of ESG terminology in mission statements. This is where the ESG pressure begins to filter down to the developers under them. Warhorse Studios is owned by PlayOn. No matter how much Daniel Vavra claims to be anti-woke, Warhorse is a cog in the larger DEI enforcing machinery. The inclusion of even one black character and an optional gay storyline, both of which feel wildly out of place for medieval Bohemia, is likely not Warhorse's independent choice. It's compliance with their overlords' ESG mandates. So yes, when you trace it back, BlackRock, Embracer, PlayOn, Warhorse leads to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 with ESG fingerprints all over it. It's not even subtle at this point. They're turning you gay. Somebody replies, BlackRock funds Embracer, funds Saber Interactive, funds Space Marine 2, one of the least gay games that's ever been created. It's just good, clean, Warhammer 40k fun, isn't it? No gay there. No Ragnar kissing, I don't know, Archeon. Right? And he just says your point. And that is a good point. If it was part of an agenda to put gays in games, to make people gay, why wouldn't you put more gays in more games, and even games that non-gays play if the gay hypnosis worked? Space Marine 2 would be the perfect game to gay up, because you would theoretically, because it's a non-gay game, right? We all know about the scale of cool to gay that we talked about earlier. That would be the one you would inject the gay into, because it's cool. We've established the rules, but no. It has the same problems people are complaining about in this game. Example, female troop commander. It's pretty obvious that this is just a signal virtue in this type of game. And I don't remember, but it probably has LGBTQ plus content. And for many people, this is already controversial because of the forced agenda that's been going on for over a decade. Then links to a thread saying all of the officers and commissars you meet are female, which isn't true. So, BlackRock are in it, right? The conspiracy runs deep, guys. You thought you were just playing a medieval video game simulator, but you were wrong. You were wrong the whole time. What you're actually doing is you are being victims to big gay propaganda. This optional gay quest line that you can totally avoid and just not engage with in any way, shape, or form. It's a conspiracy that BlackRock are controlling. Anyway, let's put a pin in it. Let's wrap it up. So what am I going to say about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? Is the game gay? Is the game woke? Not really. Can you be gay in the game? As in, if the concept you have in your brain of gay is have a sexual tryst with someone you've grown incredibly close to, had life or death situations to, and ultimately now spent hundreds of hours with, which, by the way, aren't even just hours, are days, weeks, months, years, in an alternate universe, could might you want to kiss your homie? Yeah. Does that make the whole game gay? No. Can you avoid being gay in the game? Super easily. There's a few pitfalls, like when it says, do you want to kiss your homie? Just move down one. Ultimately as well, is this a Muslim, Islamic propaganda machine? No, of course it isn't. It isn't that either. It's crazy to sort of see this level of hysteria about what is incredibly mild. And I guess the final point to kind of end upon is you can, laugh about those reviews and everything, but this is like kind of a broader thing that's going on right now in video games, where I look at like certain Twitter users with lots of followers that I won't name unless I summon them, that are all talking about, the woke in the game and the agenda and the message and all this. And look, there's definitely been some stuff that's like been forced in and is terrible writing in video games. And, I want to compare it to something as risible as Veilguard, by Dragon Age, which absolutely bombed because the writing was so fucking bad. You want to talk about forced garbage? I'll absolutely meet you on that one. Yeah, pulling a barv, that fucking, it's trash. And by the way, I know fucking gay people, trans people, non-binary people, they thought it was trash. They're like, oh no, you're gonna wake the chuds up and they fuck with us. Please stop doing this. This is not that. This is simply in this one particular instance of a storyline, you get to romance your homie, because why wouldn't that be a possibility? Simple as that. You don't have to. Your version of Henry and Hans can be straight as a fucking arrow. You know, you don't even have to. You probably don't even have to talk to the merchant if you're that adverse to hearing about what he thinks about the country he's from in a foreign land, trying to spread good tidings about his background. Like, just don't talk to him, I guess. Just sell the goods, move past. But the screeching around this has been so embarrassing to witness from afar that, honestly, it's like I say, you have become, you've become the fucking SJWs now. Spider-Man meme, however you want to represent it. It's a fucking joke. It's an actual joke. How fucking ridiculous the reaction to this game is. And I reckon, by the way, probably once it's fixed up, it's going to be a fucking banger. It'll be fondly remembered. And all of this nonsensical, ephemeral drama will be but a stupid, silly footnote.